It was just another hot Saturday, and I was mowing my lawn in a tank top, like I always did. That's when Barbara Hutchinson, our neighborhood's self-proclaimed HOA queen, stormed across the street and ripped the American flag from my garden. She shouted about community values, completely ignoring the fact that she was trespassing. But before she could cause more trouble, a police car rolled up. What started as a normal yard chore turned into Barbara getting crested for vandalism and trespassing with half the neighborhood watching. And yes, I caught everything on camera. Welcome back, story lovers. Like and subscribe so you don't miss any unbelievable tales. It was a hot afternoon, over 90 degrees, and I was out in my front yard mowing the lawn like I did every Saturday for the past 3 years. I wore my usual blue tank top. It was hot, and I wanted to stay cool. As I pushed the mower across the grass, I saw her coming. Barbara Hutchinson. She wasn't the HOA president, but she acted like it. At 52, with her perfect blonde hair and expensive workout clothes, she saw herself as the boss of the neighborhood. She hated how I dressed during yard work and had been watching me for weeks, taking pictures, filing fake complaints, and making loud comments about declining standards whenever I was nearby. That day, she marched across the street, yelling at me for being shirtless, even though I had just taken off my tank top for a second to wring out sweat. When I calmly put it back on and asked her to leave, she lost it. She stepped onto my lawn, grabbed the small American flag I had near my flower bed, and ripped it out like it was a weapon. Dirt flew everywhere. That's when we both heard the sound of a police car pulling up to my curb. Barbara froze, flag still in hand. She was so focused on yelling about neighborhood values that she didn't see the patrol car until it was too late. I had already installed security cameras after she kept spying on me, and I pointed to the one above my porch. She got even angrier and kicked over a garden gnome my niece had given me, breaking its hat. That's when I called the police and calmly explained everything to the dispatcher, while she kept shouting about civic duty. The officers, Chen and Williams, showed up and looked at the footage on my phone, which showed Barbara trespassing, ripping up the flag, and smashing my gnome. She tried to claim she had the right to be on my lawn as part of the HOA enforcement committee. But the officers didn't buy it. When they told her to leave and return the flag, she refused and made up something called community enforcement privileges. Finally, when she tried to push past one of the officers to take more evidence from my yard, they arrested her on the spot for trespassing and vandalism. She couldn't believe it, shouting about dress codes, property values, and her made-up authority as the neighbors watched from windows and porches. Someone even recorded it for social media. After she was taken away, Officer Chen handed me back my bent flag and took my full statement. 3 days later, the real HOA board sent me a letter apologizing for everything. They said there was no dress code for private property and that Barbara had no right to act like she did. Turns out, she had been sending fake letters using made-up HOA titles and rules. She wasn't part of any committee because none of them even existed. Her arrest made the local news, and the video clip of her meltdown was already going viral. The HOA board banned her from joining anything in the future and threw out all the fake complaints she'd made. At her court hearing, Barbara was fined $500 for breaking my gnome. Turns out it was a rare piece and dollar. $300 for trespassing. The judge also gave her 40 hours of community service with a group that teaches kindness and respect in neighborhoods. When the judge read her sentence, she looked shocked, then angry, then like she might finally understand what she'd done. As her lawyer whispered next steps to her, she muttered something about the world falling apart. But honestly, the neighborhood felt a little better without her yelling at everyone's front lawns. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe for more HOA stories.